Welcome to Married AF. We are your hosts, Brooke and Randall Fowler. On this show, we discuss the topics that really matter.
Like big veiny cocks and our favorite TV shows.
So pull up a chair at our kitchen table and hang out.
While I bulldog my nuts. Hello, Dick Sucks.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show. We missed you.
It's been 2 days.
Yes, since the Patrick Motherway special that everyone has loved so much. I do want to do a couple of quick thank yous, though. The downloads are trending really well. We were able to look at a new analytical report. I posted it on the Facebook group page, but we had no idea that some of those countries we had downloads in Germany and Finland. I had no idea.
It's pretty
Very
cool.
aroused by that. I had no clue.
Oh, way more in Japan and Canada than
expected.
Yeah.
We were wrong about some of our calculations. So,
and in the United States, we're definitely heavy in Georgia and Alabama. Duh.
yeah.
But I think like right after that was like California.
No, it's crazy. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Shockingly. It's really a cool thing to
I
watch.
didn't see Louisiana on the list, though. So now that Margaret's back home, I'm hoping we'll see more Louisiana on the list.
Yeah, and that's so friends that are in the states that we're talking about, Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, I used to
we
live in
know
Louisiana.
you're fucking us.
You're not listening to this, so what the fuck?
So don't pretend like you like our shit on Facebook and stuff and you hadn't listened to them, motherfucker. That's some old schoolyard bullshit.
Wow, making me look bad. I used to live in Baton Rouge, guys. Come on.
Yeah, quit fucking around. Download the shit. Check it out. Subscribe. Be cool. But I wanted to give a few shout outs to a few podcasts that are friends of ours that, if you're looking for other podcasts to listen to, these, we recommend. I've listened to them. I like them for different reasons, but this couple they do a podcast. It's called Committed Podcast. They're really cool. They've got a great dynamic between the two of them, and they have really cool, thoughtful conversations. And it just kind of sounds. It's like you're sitting in on their chats about different issues.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, a little more serious.
Yeah, my beer.
But
Sorry.
But good content. I really like them, and they're really cool. So give them a check out if you're looking for another podcast. The other one is 9 to 5 Nerds. Those guys are really cool. I listen to their shows. They big Walking Dead fans.
Yeah, I really like. Today it was funny. I was listening to the where they did the recap of the season finale, and it was like, we can be friends. we all talked about like their recap of the season finale was fairly close to our recap of the season finale.
Yeah.
Like they hit on all the same things, so it was like vindication of like, yes.
I wanted to see if you thought the best part of that, because that's the episode I listened to as well today when I was going to the gym and when I was coming home. And the funniest part of their whole show was one of the...
Talking about peeing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Shitting. So similar.
Oh, okay.
But one of the hosts asked Robert, like just as they were chatting, he said, "Did you shit yourself?" And Robert, it's the funniest shit in the world. I don't think he even meant to be funny because we tweeted about it a little bit. And he said, so the other host says, "Did you shit yourself?" And he goes, "I wish."
What?
I wish. Those are the little golden nuggets that I love the most in movies, anything, podcasts. He was literally didn't know what to say, so he just said, "I wish." I wish I shit myself.
Perfect answer to that question.
And then the other guy just moved on. So it was actually a good answer. Got right off of it. But give those guys a listen. And I believe Robert's wife started off as like a guest on their show, and now she's like a third. You know, like she's on it a lot.
I think they list her as the producer.
Yeah, but she's a big contributor. So it's a cool dynamic between them. And so give them a listen. I think they're really cool. So I think you guys would like them too. Trying to flood you guys with some content here. And the last one is Blunt Mommy Podcast. Her name is Amanda. I saw that on like her Instagram thing that was on her link on her Twitter. But she's a fairly new podcast. She's from down there in Baton Rouge.
The Red Stick.
Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. And I believe her co-host name is Chris, and they're good friends, and they just kind of shoot the shit, drink beers, kind of relive their some of their wild nights out.
Their shenanigans.
Partying, hanging out, TV shows. I think they reviewed Gigolos, the show that.
Shut the fuck up!
Buff
Is that the one that Mark was on?
Yeah, our good friend Buff Daddy was on that show.
Where do you even watch that show? Was that on Showtime or where was it?
I think it was Showtime. Which
we don't have Showtime. We trimmed down.
Showtime, a.k.a. Spanktravision.
That's Skinamax is what you're thinking of.
I think both of those are for teenage boys to whack off.
Which one? Red Shoe Diaries. That was on Cinemax, I think. Which is what I think
that was HBO.
Was it HBO?
Yeah. That was a total jerk fest for teenagers when I was
gracious.
a kid.
Yeah.
100% of nipples and
it was a lot.
And
good old David Duchovny.
What was that called? The not real porn?
Huh?
Wasn't there a name for it that everybody would call stuff like that? Softcore
porn.
Basically, but hardcore porn for youngsters.
How did we get on that subject? Oh, Gigolos. Okay.
Yeah, but so give them a look too. I think you'll like it. So those are our 3 shout outs for today. So
cool.
Show them some love to the indie podcast. You know, these people just like us, they don't, nobody makes any money on, or the people that we talk to make money on
Some
this.
of them do. I mean, like Trace Evidence, he's got sponsors.
Well, sure. I mean, he's pretty big, but
Murderish.
But when you start out, you're not making money. You're probably losing money because you're paying to have a hosted website with your shit. I mean, it's all love for fun. So support these guys,
Yeah.
Or get the fuck out.
Oh, sorry, the computer screen kept going to sleep because it's not plugged in, but I'll just have to deal with it.
Okay. Well, since there was no Walking Dead, I figure we'd kind of start talking about a new show that we've that's piqued our interest. Mm-hmm. Not only because it's about a cool subject, but because Derek, our favorite Big Brother player,
Derek Levasseur from Big Brother. Yeah, so it kind of blends both of our TV passions. So like, it really does. My love of true crime plus Randall's love of Big Brother. And I mean, Derek's legit. I mean, that's why he won Big Brother, is because he was such a good detective, and he was like a undercover detective for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's so good.
So that's why he was so kick-ass at Big Brother, which clearly he didn't. If nobody watches Big Brother, he did not tell anybody else in the house that he was a private detective or whatever, a cop, until he won, and then was like, suckers. and
then everybody was like, no shit,
yeah. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Way to use your training.
Because he fucking killed it. So, yeah, he was obviously a very good detective, and he's, this show's really good. It's like him and this, who's that other guy?
Chris something. That dude has...
Moldavi or something. But they are going back and looking at cold cases. And they started in Rhode Island, where Derek is from. And then last night was in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. A college girl that got...
Faith.
Hedgepeth.
Yep.
Fuck, I'm saying that wrong. That's terrible. But she was bludgeoned to death in her apartment.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
Very
I'd never
gruesome.
heard of it.
With a Bacardi bottle. Like, that didn't even break. She was beat to death. I mean, that's what they assume the weapon was.
Well, it was covered in blood.
It was covered in blood, and because there was a lot of skeptical cops and stuff, like, why didn't it break if it did this much damage to her? But then they went and Derek and Chris actually went to a lab and had a bunch of tests run on a bottle that was of the exact same quality, and sure enough, it appeared that it would be able to take that kind of pressure.
It's not like the movies. I've been hit with a beer bottle before. It's not like on Saturday Night Live where they crush into a million gazillion pieces. You gotta fucking give it a whack. And those Bacardi bottles, like you forget, those big bottles,
It's thick.
they are very thick, especially at the
glass,
bottom
yeah.
rim where it curves and has that divot. But
Yeah. Well, but yeah, it was, so this girl, they were out at a club. She's like 19, lives with her friend Karina, and they left the club at like 2, go back to the house. Apparently their downstairs neighbors heard like some kind of, like, it sounded like they were moving furniture or somebody was getting bludgeoned to death, one or the other, maybe. Around 2, what was that, like 2:40 or something, and then like some other weird shit happened, and like her roommate left at like 4:25 and
went to a dude's house.
Went to a dude's house, or no, their other friend came and picked her up.
She picked her up from the dude's house and brought her back. But she went to a dude's house at 4, and then that friend picked her up from there the next morning and came back with her.
Okay, because I was confused when they went and interviewed that other friend.
Yeah, she went to get some dick.
Because of the shit she was saying. Okay. Yeah.
Dick.
So, and then they walk in, and that's what they find. And the roommate, is not available for interviews. It's all very sketchy to where it looks, when you watch this episode, it looks to me like the roommate, I don't think she necessarily did it, but she knows more than she's telling the cops and that she's admitting to, because
Oh, for sure. I got that feeling.
I mean, it's like the night.
You hear my nose breathing?
Yes, I can hear your nose breathing.
My nose is terrible. So
It
people
sounds
that,
like you're sniffing.
people that are listening and hate my breathing, I'm going to get it fixed one day. My nose has got to be rebuilt. It's a fucking cesspool of hatred.
Well, that's one of the
But
reasons you have
having
a
these
CPAP.
headphones on, and I was just listening, like, what the fuck's that noise? Oh, it's my nose. I'm garbage. But no, the Karina girl, I got the feeling from the episode that Derek never felt right about her.
No, and it was, so, yeah, there was Eric Takoy Jones, who was Karina's ex-boyfriend that
That dude looked crazy.
lived in the same apartment complex. Karina had a restraining order against him at the advisement of Faith. So there's that. There could have been that motive. I mean,
Yeah, that
he
sounds
looked
sketch as fuck.
He looked like a crazy motherfucker. And then I missed this part, babe. Jacob Bentley that lived with the guy that Karina was with, apparently when Faith was getting murdered. Is that who she was walking out of the nightclub with? Because there was video of her, surveillance video of her leaving the nightclub.
Supposedly, and a cell phone tower dinged him. Mm-hmm. That's how he got looped into this shit. They've got like 800 DNA samples of people.
Yeah, because there was DNA at the crime scene. We don't know what kind of DNA, because apparently she wasn't raped.
I looked it up today. I don't want to interrupt you, but I looked it up. They released, like last year, a sketch based on the DNA profile of what they think.
What?
Yeah,
How can you do a sketch from a DNA profile?
Some kind of software.
Fucking technology, man.
But it's like a Latino guy.
Well, God damn it. That's nobody.
Everybody's bamboozled on this case.
Yeah.
Derek and them
Or is it a Latino girl, Karina Rosario?
Or was it a typical college apartment where tons of people have fucked and there's DNA everywhere?
Yeah, but for true. And it was like she was found like on Karina's bedroom floor, so God knows.
I mean, seriously, if they came to my college house and collected DNA, it would just fucking burn the house down.
Oh, everybody in Florence would have been a suspect.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't see them like it's a really cold case.
Yeah, it's super sad. I mean, her poor parents, like, shoot, and I don't know.
I don't buy the Eric guy, or I don't like the ex kind of on and off boyfriend of Faith's either that talked to Derek and Chris.
Yeah, I missed that part on the episode too, but I saw snippets of it.
He had that weird text from her that Derek...
That was Karina's ex-boyfriend.
No, that's Eric is Karina's ex-boyfriend. They didn't interview him. They didn't find him. The guy that you saw with the beard that agreed to be interviewed was Faith's ex kind of boyfriend.
That's the one
when she wasn't dating her one from home.
Oh.
That she was juggling. So he showed them that text, and Derek and them all, and even Faith's dad, feel like that wasn't her that sent that.
Wait, and wasn't there also a butt dial from that Faith's dad got a voicemail where he heard two girls screaming in the background? Was that the night that she got murdered?
Yeah, but that was a friend that got that voicemail. It has been given to her father to listen to, and a forensic analyst ran that through and has been able to pull from that voicemail. He hears the words Rosie, which was Karina, what she called Karina, Eric, which was the ex-boyfriend,
crazy ex-boyfriend that lives in the same apartments.
He also heard some screaming, and he's determined and built around it that it sounds like it's her murder.
Yeesh.
Not at the club. That was butt dialed.
Right.
But they can't use it for some reason in this.
Can they not try it, like, figure out, like, look at the cell phone records? And
they did. And the iPhone tagged that time period on the voicemail as 1 something.
Oh, so they would still been at the club.
They would have been at the club. The forensic guy that analyzed it said that during that time there was a known issue with iPhones.
Oh, Jesus.
And their timing, their time zone differential, there was an issue.
Oh, my iPhone does that all the time.
So the stamp was wrong, is what he says, and that this was really during the time that she was being murdered. At 2:40,
which would have been exactly when if it was 1:40 that the phone said, and it was a time phone or a time zone difference, if it was an hour the other way, 2:40 is exactly when her neighbors downstairs were hearing thumping, like moving furniture.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's his whole thing, and he sounded pretty credible to me. And shit.
Yeah, I don't know how you go back and actually prove that, but that fucking guilty.
But I mean, the fact that the Karina girl, either she's got a very stern lawyer that has just been like, don't say a fucking thing, doesn't matter that you're not guilty, you don't even open that can of worms, because they're obviously so hungry for a lead that you'd probably be screwing yourself if you did open yourself up for any kind of scrutiny.
Yeah.
So, I like the show.
I do too. And Derek's awesome. I mean, I'd like to see maybe like later in the season if they follow up and are like, I'd like to see if any of their work that they do on these cases gets any closure. No,
and that's a great point. One thing I was going to say is this recent, and I don't know how recent it is, but for me, because of you, these true crime podcasts, shows, like it's such a big thing. A lot of these cold cases are getting new leads. There was one of our friends posted something today about an arrest being made on an old case that's been in all these podcasts that are reviewing all these new eyes and ears on these cases are really making it. Don't worry about it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the whole premise on all those podcasts that strictly cover cold cases, like Stephen Pacheco's Trace Evidence. Like his is strictly cold cases, and he's got that whole Facebook group set up for people that have more information or have any kind of tips. And I mean, there was that whole Up and Vanish podcast. I think that was probably the most well known that it actually led to arrests. Like the guy Payne Lindsay that's the host of that one. He's like a documentary filmmaker from Atlanta that started getting all up in nitty gritty on this Tara Grinstead missing person case. It was like the #1 GBI cold case, and all the work and research he was doing, trying to like rustle feathers down there in Ocilla, ended up pretty much bringing the people that did it out in the open.
Yeah, I mean, no shit.
The cops straight up were like thanking the media in their press conference when they arrested the people because there was 2 people that were involved in it. I mean, it's crazy.
No, a lot of these shows are like having 1 million free private investigators.
Mm-hmm. Right, you get a bunch of web sleuths and people that
want to dive into these rabbit holes, and fuck, man, you're gonna come up on some hits sometimes. So I mean, it's a good thing. I don't see it as a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get into them like you for sure, because you like so many of them. Like I couldn't juggle. I could only do one at a time. Like I'd have to learn all about one. I couldn't listen to 3 cases.
Yeah.
At one time and be in different, especially the way I listen to podcasts, kind of 20 minutes of it here and then 20 minutes of it there.
No. I listen to.
I'd be fucked.
Well, I'll listen to probably 3 or 4 different podcasts a day when I'm sitting at my desk at work, but listen to episode from beginning to end so that I hear the whole thing. And then I actually went and listened to the interview today that Jamie on Murderish did with John Meehan's daughter Emily, which is Dirty John's daughter. And it was really cool. She's like, it's amazing how, I mean, he wasn't really in her life at all, but even just all knowing everything and being raised completely separate
Ted
from
Bundy's daughter.
I know, right?
Imagine
That's
that
the girl.
shit.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
I want to know where that girl is.
I want to know what her mental state is.
And like, well, because exactly, I know. I mean, like, I didn't even know he had a kid until I listened to that audiobook, which if anybody's looking for an audiobook to listen to, that one is fantastic. Anne Rule's Stranger Beside Me. She's got a bajillion books out there. It's all true crime stuff. She's a humongous true crime author, but she actually worked in like a volunteer suicide hotline center and sat right next to Ted Bundy, and they were friends.
Bitches loved him.
They were friends, yeah. And but his daughter, he duped some woman to marry him after he was in jail in Florida, and ended up like he didn't get conjugal visits with his wife, but he was able to bribe the guards and bang his wife, and whoopsie, she got pregnant. And like at one of his trials, she was sitting there, or one of his appeal trials when they were trying to get him to not get electrocuted, she's sitting there like with his baby daughter. I was like, oh fuck, Ted Bundy has a daughter. And so the year that it was all done would make her roughly a couple years younger than us. I mean, she's in her 30s now. But I don't know what her, like, you know.
I'm sure she's changed her name.
Fuck yeah. Jesus, if your dad's Ted Bundy, you don't want to tell anybody.
I mean, I would want to be Al Bundy's son.
Yeah.
That's the only Bundy that's...
As much as I'm fascinated with all this stuff, I mean, woo. I don't know.
What did his ex-wife look like? Do you ever see pictures of her?
It's not Carol Ann something. No.
Just wondering, because Ted Bundy was a good-looking guy, so...
Right, but the description of her, she was...
a fatty.
Yeah, that was the description of her.
Like she'd be a fatty.
Was that she was a little plumper. Because he was in jail. This was somebody who
I
had
know.
to...
He'll take whatever he can get, buddy.
But he still, even when he was on... he always had groupies. Even when he was on trial, wherever he was, the multiple places, Utah, Colorado, Florida... He always had there was always like a front row of like the typical girls that he killed, you know, like the parted in the middle, long hair. And they didn't necessarily know him, but they were in love with him. And Ann Rule said she got letters, while he was in jail, wanting to have her get in touch with him for them because they were in love, and he looked at them during the trial, and it's crazy.
They want some of that serial killer.
He was a good looking dude though, and I cannot wait for the movie to come out where Zac Efron plays him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make him into anything better, but I would imagine he had a huge cock.
What?
Just from his frame and his swagger, I bet he had a humongous dong.
I mean, yeah.
Like John Wayne Gacy, I bet had a teeny tiny cock. Dahmer, probably a tiny cock.
Yeah, John
Bundy,
Wayne Gacy.
big dick.
But John Wayne Gacy, I'm trying to remember because I just listened to that book. I actually have a couple hours left. The Killer Clown book. It was a lot. It wasn't as easy to listen to as the Ann Rule one because it was written by the state's attorney at the time that handled the whole case. So it's very
biased.
It's very it's just very procedural, and it's just details on the whole when they were staking him out. And it's all very interesting, but it's not as riveting as Ann Rule's books because she's just a better writer. I mean, but it's all very good. I mean, but John Wayne, I'm trying to remember because he was gay as fuck.
And he was a clown.
Creepy ass
He
clown.
had a tiny dick. That's okay.
I think they mentioned it, so I was trying to remember. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were just trying to give more factoids.
No.
What about the dick?
I'm just trying. I think someone literally mentioned it, and I can't remember because, because there's plenty of people that got away from him that he tortured and tied up and did all kind of crazy shit to, and then let go for. I mean, there's a handful of people that made it out alive, and I think they might have addressed it, and that he's not very.
I bet they're terrified of clowns.
Like most people.
I know, but imagine if one butt fucked you.
Oh my God. Exactly.
Good God, John.
Did John just rip?
Holy balls. Shoot.
It hasn't come over here yet. Go, John. Go.
Our pit bull just shit on the floor.
He did not shit on the floor.
He farted on the floor, and I'm about to vomit.
He was facing you, and his butt was facing me. How did it get to you before it got to me? I don't even smell it yet.
You disgust me, sir.
He's so pleased with himself. He just got up and he's wagging his tail.
They never make noise either. They're so gross.
The silent ones are always the worst. Whenever he farts and it makes noise, it never smells.
He farts like a 500-pound cow. It smells like a big 500-pound cow.
He got nervous. All this talking about serial killers.
Clowns. He hates clowns. He's terrified of clowns, obviously.
It scared him, and so he...
Now you might be able to hear him drink.
Yep, all that fart dehydrated.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, that's awesome. I wanted to ask you about a couple of current events, though, see if you've heard anything about these.
Okay.
Have you heard about the backlash from Jay Feely, the ex-Falcons kicker?
Okay.
Had the prom picture with the gun.
I saw that on Twitter, actually, and I almost commented on it we have a picture exactly like that with my husband and my brother-in-law and my nieces.
Yeah.
But you guys don't have it in your hand. They're in the
No,
whole
but what a
stores,
bunch of pussies. Stop.
It's a fucking... Are you kidding me?
It's a picture. He's not pointing it at the kid.
And it's a tale as old as time.
Exactly. That's putting it perfect.
You take out my daughter, I'm going to show you my gun.
Can't we just leave some shit alone?
Right.
Just leave some shit alone. Just have your fights and your disagreements. But the only thing I think is a problem with that picture is the fact that he fucking apologized. He should have told everybody, suck my dick. This is my daughter's prom. She's been dating this guy for a year. He knows me. It's strictly a picture. Lick my ass.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff, it's just outrage culture. It's outrage culture. People...
They're so bored. People are so bored.
And that is something that just screams oh, I am fucking outraged.
My God.
How dare you point a gun at a child, which he's not pointing a gun at a child, by the way.
He's pointing it at his feet, by the way, at his own feet.
He's just holding the gun,
down at his feet.
It's just fucking chill, people. Seriously.
There's no clip in it. I mean, fuck me, man. If that makes your radar, I really feel bad for you because there's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't even be a blip on anybody's anything.
Yeah.
And the fact that he apologized really hurts me
I'm
for
sure
him.
he probably had to. Like, that's the thing is, like, he didn't mean it. Please, yeah, you didn't mean it, Jay Feely. You should have just given him a big middle finger. I don't know if he still has sponsors or whatever, endorsements, if he's the next Falcon.
No, he's always been an outspoken guy. Like, he was one of the few kickers he was always really buff. Like, he didn't look like a kicker.
Yeah.
And, I mean, fuck that, though. He's got a cute daughter.
Yeah, I mean, like, y'all's picture was better, I think, because it was a little awkward the way he was holding it, like, and the kids are standing there, like, y'all's picture was way better where you...
Well, they were holstered and on our hips.
Yeah, you and Jim both had your guns holstered and had, like, was it Jordan or Casey's homecoming?
It was Casey's.
Yeah, it was Casey's homecoming, and she was in the middle, and y'all were on either side of her with your guns and your holsters. So you're obviously criminals.
Yeah,
and
obviously we were...
murderers,
yeah,
obviously.
We promote gun violence.
Yeah.
Obviously and clearly.
Yeah, protecting daughters and nieces, overprotective fathers and uncles. I mean, you can't do that anymore.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? Fuck that.
I know, fuck that.
If we have a daughter,
oh my God, she's fucked.
I will play that card for you. I mean, not only do they have to look at my scary face, but also my artillery.
God bless it. If
and
we do
everything
have a daughter,
else.
No boy is ever going to want to come.
It's just the way it is.
Which, I mean, Jim kind of has some RBF too.
He can, yeah. His is cutting a lot better as he's...
His isn't quite RBF. It's more just like, you can't... A lot of times, like, I get why, like, some of the girls' boyfriends might be a little intimidated. For one, because he's a manager at a gun store, but... it's not quite as angry as your face looks. It's just more like, not like...
No, Jim's is... I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
You can't read
anything,
whether he... Yeah.
Whether he's almost like a CIA operative.
Yeah. It's more
which is
just
scary
like,
in its own way.
Right. It's more like, are you happy or sad or angry or just chilling?
No, Jim's dead behind the eyes a lot of times.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, he's got dead eyes sometimes.
But I could see where, like... boyfriends of the girls would get intimidated, but I think it more also might just be hardwired in every dad of girls to have that kind of cold stare. Mm-hmm. Like, you should.
No, I mean,
you need to give those boys something to worry about because...
Well, I mean, Jim's also not the kind of guy that's going to come up and do a bunch of fake-ass small talk with anybody.
No.
He's going to have to fill you out before. He's not going to, hey, pal, buddy, old fucky. It's me, buddy, fucks. Never. So he's just going to be quiet,
I don't know,
and then you're going to think he hates you.
Yeah.
Which is why me and him get along, because we can be quiet together and still be having a great time.
And still know that you love each other deeply.
100%. We don't have to be sitting there with any fuckery.
I know.
So, what about old Barbara Bush?
Well, that's super sad.
Poor old you heard George went in the hospital. He'll be dead in a month.
What did I say the other day after she died? I said, how long is he going to last?
Not long.
His heart's broken.
Corey, they've been together 73 years.
73 years. Babe, we're never going to last 73 years because we just...
I won't live 73 years.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't get married till we were fucking late 30s.
Nah, we got 30 years to really maximize.
We got to really fit everything in. I mean, they...
No, what a life, though, for both of them.
I know. It's heartbreaking for him, but he's probably just like, oh, let's get out of this bitch. I'm done.
What I love, and I wish everyone would take note of it, and it's one thing I really like about the Obamas. If you watch the funeral, they were so supportive. Yeah, they were there with W.
Okay, good.
And Michelle was holding W's hand, and they're just such good folks.
Well, because they're good people.
W is also... And he was great when he handed the torch to Obama. There was never any... When W left office, he left motherfucking office. He even said, I don't want to say shit about politics.
Yeah,
good for him. I don't want to fuck with him.
Good for him.
But he was very supportive of the Obamas, and they have reciprocated that very well. I don't imagine the Trumps will ever be able to be that way.
Well,
they're too much in the gutter.
they have too much ego.
Well, Donald, I think Melania could. She's
Melania,
great.
it seems like a very
Yeah, she's
nice,
very
genuine
sweet.
person, but Donald Trump has too much ego involved. That's where W and Obama are able to just be like, drop the political shit and realize that people.
We're all people.
Yeah.
And,
And
it doesn't matter that you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat.
no, and they obviously have, I'm sure there's some common interests, and
There's got to be a huge bond of being a first
we
family.
were both presidents. Yeah, I mean, like, no matter what your political party is,
That's an exclusive fraternity.
that fucking job is the hardest in the world, and you should be able to bond with the other people that held that position, regardless of what their views are. Because once you're done, exactly, you could be like,
Well, no matter who you are, you take ass whippings your whole presidency.
sure, and after,
So you got to be able to share in that fact that you survived those
Yes.
ass kickings.
yeah.
And the Obamas do it so well. I mean, I don't.
And W does too. W gets so much hate.
W gives zero fucks. I
That's
don't think the
why, yeah.
Obamas do either. They're like,
Yeah.
fuck y'all, cool, I'm out.
Right. Exactly. And that's the way you should be. That's where Donald Trump needs to chill the fuck out.
Well, see, with Donald, what I think
cares too
people
much
miss is he's so outlandish and mean. In his head, though, it's almost like the WWE. He forgets all. He could call you the biggest shit bag in the world. You two are going to war.
He thinks it's all for show.
And when the cameras go off, he'd be like, oh, I was fucking with you. You're fantastic.
Yeah.
I really like
Well, he
you.
needs
And then the other person's like, fuck you still,
Right.
bitch.
Yeah.
You just told me to go fuck my mother,
Yeah.
and now you're saying we're cool.
Exactly. So,
And then he denies saying that you're cool.
Yeah.
It's a weird game with Trump.
yeah. So he didn't go to so the acting president, I think I saw some debates on Facebook or Twitter about this. Whoever's the acting president doesn't go to a funeral like that.
I don't know.
Is
I
that
don't
like
know
a
the rule of
precedent
that.
that's
I
been
don't know.
set?
Maybe.
Because I thought somebody was trying to say that like, when so-and-so died, blah, 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 didn't go. And there was an example for each presidency, like in the past handful. But I did not see that Obama went. I didn't watch the funeral. I just saw I know you did for a
Yeah.
little bit when Gunnar and I were out here watching, I don't know, PJ Masks or something. But I did see the pictures of where George Sr. was just like sitting in front of the casket.
Well,
just
he's
like,
barely alive. I
oh
mean,
my God, it's
that
just
poor
heartbreaking.
guy.
Like, his heart's just completely broken. He's like,
Oh, but
I mean,
I would imagine, I was thinking about it today. I imagine in his head that he's like, shit, I'm right the fuck behind
Right.
you.
He's
I
like,
mean, I'm
save
trying.
me a seat, bitch.
I quit.
yeah.
I'm ready. I ain't eating shit.
Yeah.
I don't want my insurer.
And they're in their
Let me roll.
90s. And she was 93. He's 94 or something now.
I think she's 92. He's 93.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's old as fuck. Bye.
No, I mean, they both had health problems.
amazing.
But my whole point to this was I'm glad that she got a lot of media
Yeah. for
because
sure.
she's a very underrated first lady.
I loved her.
Barbara was as hardcore gangster, tough, but
Yeah.
family first oriented of the bunch. She's the least precocious of the first ladies.
Mm-hmm.
She never dyed her hair. She was gray, really young, and kept it gray.
Mm-hmm.
She always had a saying. I remember that it was pretty funny that she couldn't or didn't have a place for people that dyed their hair
Mm-hmm.
because they're just not interesting.
Okay.
Like that's why her hair was so always so white.
Okay. I mean, but okay, whatever.
No, but my point is with her, she was always family first, be with your family. Literacy was her big thing, and if you hear W talk, she was also the ass kicker of the Bush family.
For sure she was.
She was the enforcer, they
Yeah.
called her, and she would bring the thunder.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sad but happy. I mean,
Sad.
I know that they're.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but she was 90-something years old, so, I mean, it's not unexpected. So I think it was,
Yeah, she was obviously ready to go too, because she refuse medical care.
I did not. I mean, I would have thought that he would have died before she did.
No shit. I thought he was dead 5 years ago.
He was in the hospital for a while.
Now he just grabs girls' butts and tells offensive jokes because he's half out of his mind, and I respect that.
I don't think he really does that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the guy's in a wheelchair and he's barely alive. Cut him some slack.
Yeah, but still, I mean, but yeah, I mean, he was having some failing health for a while, and then there was a point where they were both in the hospital at the same time. Like, oh my God, like.
Oh no! And then they had to rush him this morning because he's got sepsis. He's septic.
Yeah, he's not gonna. I mean, he's ready to go. I bet. Which God bless him.
And it makes me feel so bad. He looks so terrible in his wheelchair now, and the condition he's in puts him in that constant weird smiley face.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, like he's like.
Oh.
That's how he has to sit, and obviously y'all could see the face I just made.
It was what he just said. Constant weird smiley face.
It's just uncomfortable because old George was he's a war hero.
Yeah. Well, you hate to see anybody that when you get, I mean, getting old sucks, man. And the older you get, the suckier it is.
Oh, no shit. But, when you're such a big, strapping guy, like, he was
he's a big
college baseball player at Yale and a war hero. Yeah. CIA director.
President.
Vice president, one-term president.
Yeah.
Fucked himself on the no higher taxes, read my lips.
No.
He fucked himself. All right. Well, cool.
All right, what else you got, baby?
Well, I'm going to roll the tip in this week to the question that I had kind of teased on Twitter last week that I'd gotten.
Mm-hmm.
About the guy basically asking about if it's weird that he likes for his lady to put a finger in his ass during foreplay. Is that weird? First off, his question is it weird? Then I have a second comment after that.
I mean, I think you got to have some context of, like, was there maybe lots of drinks and some painkillers?
Yeah. I mean, maybe the guy just likes a finger in his ass, though. Who cares?
Maybe so. I'm just saying, like,
if it's between him and his girl, I don't think it's weird.
I think
at all.
if he's asking if it's weird, he thinks it's weird.
Well, I think that's just because obviously there's an
insecurity,
incorrect stigma out there. For one, there's nothing normal to outsiders about a couple's sex life. That's a thing of their own, whatever they want to do. I don't give a shit what anybody does. They want to stick fucking, broomsticks up each other's asses if it's consensual.
I mean, yeah.
Share thunder beads. I don't care.
Thunder beads? Are those anal beads?
Thunder beads, yes.
You know the brand name and everything.
No, it's from that movie where the old lady she thinks it's a pearl necklace and it's really a bunch of thunder beads. The old granny's wearing them.
I don't know what movie that is, but that's funny.
But no, and so, I totally would say no. I mean, a finger in the ass is one thing.
If it's
a huge cucumber, I would imagine, is worse. Now, guys get a finger in the ass at physicals.
Mm-hmm. You gotta check your prostate.
Once you're 40.
Turn your head and cough.
Well, that's up the balls. That's the hernia check, where they stick a middle finger in your nutsack and feel to see if your intestines are pushing out through a hernia.
That's right. The finger in the
butthole is the prostate. To milk your prostate.
No, not to milk your prostate.
No, to check it, to see if it's enlarged.
Yes.
But I had a physical. They don't do it till you're 40 normally. But when I was getting enrolled for the Naval Academy, I had to go get that physical in Birmingham.
You were 18?
Yeah. And I had to go to a military doctor. And he was an old guy. I think I've told you. And he did my physical, checked the nuts. Everything was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And then he told me, well, now you got to bend over. And he got the glove out. And the first thing I did was look at his hands. And I was like, God, they're fucking huge.
it doesn't matter.
monster sausages.
It doesn't matter what size they were. They would have looked huge.
Oh, I know, but he was like an older guy. Like every finger had been broken. It was bent. And anyway, and so I remember he put the finger in the ass, and you know, it was pretty brutal, and it's more emotionally painful at that point for me because I just had never had a finger in my ass. But it's not a fucking big deal. The guy likes a finger. Some guys love the finger in the ass.
That's a different prostate exam, and during naughty time is totally different.
I don't know. I guess
context. Well, I mean, yeah, I would think so.
I'm sure, but the simple point is that if
that's what you like, with your wifey,
and she's cool to put the finger in your ass, fuck everybody else.
Yeah, then fine, not weird. It's your thing.
And now, if you're telling everybody and you're looking for approval, like you're saying, now that's a little weird. Yes. Now you're involved in the which,
right?
You know, part of it's probably for the gag of sending in the question, but you know, you get some people that are real, you know, I'd say ignorant, narrow-minded, that would be like, oh, if you like a finger in your ass, you're gay.
Well, that's just stupid.
That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. Because if you have if you are gay, who cares? But if you're a guy and you like your female wife's finger in your ass, you're not gay because you want an object in there.
No, that's stupid.
Now, if you're picturing a man while your wife has a finger in your ass.
If you're telling her to put on a strap on and maybe ask her if you can call her Steve, then maybe that's a hint.
Yeah, then maybe you're gay, but still whatever.
I mean, then maybe you just need to have a talk with your wife.
Yeah.
But, no. I mean, you got some crazy questions, babe. I don't think your email's going to get flagged.
If a stink finger makes you blow a bigger load, brother, take the finger in the ass.
Do what you got to do.
I don't want to hold anyone back from a glorious busting. So if he can't bust without a finger in his ass, let the man have a finger in his ass.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, we do. Okay. I have a client who taught her boys to only pee sitting down. Do you think there's any way that these kids will be normal?
I mean,
they're boys. If it's the only way, no, they're fucked.
Yeah, that's because that just seems like
again, back to your tale as old as time.
Yeah.
So just leave some shit alone. I get it, teach them to pee sitting down when they're learning to drop a deuce and tuck the old wiener.
Well, Gunnar does it, yeah, because, I mean, if he's going number 2, he's going to also pee.
Of course.
But, like, yeah, honestly, I prefer having a boy that pees standing up for reasons of when we're in public. Because, good gracious, I fear having a girl and having to maneuver, hovering them over public toilets and, God forbid, a porta potty, because I've had to hold Gunnar up just like 3 feet in front of him because I don't want any part of him to touch the porta potty stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's setting them up for a lot of issues, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, for one, there's going to come a time where eventually, too, they're sitting in the
locker room.
In the locker room, dropping a piss. And then you're denying them the chance to sword fight while they pee standing
up. They're
up.
also boys. Maybe they're just like, all right, Mom. And as they get older, they're like, I'll do this at home, but I'm not fucking doing this when I'm at school because the stalls are for pooping when you're a boy.
Yeah.
And the urinals are for peeing, so you can't sit down on a urinal. I mean, so hopefully her boys have, some kind of independence.
Yeah, I don't think it looks good. Yeah. If that's the only way she's teaching them.
But I just feel like that's also good. Like, there's going to be lots of, like, weird control things on her end in other aspects of their life. If she's controlling the way that they pee, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good point. There's some crazy shit going on below the surface of that.
Trust me. I despise piss.
Oh, it'd be easier for you cleaning, for sure.
Which, honestly, Gunnar's terrible at doing it when he's sitting down, too.
He lets it fly up.
Yeah, it's almost worse when he's sitting down.
Yeah, that's true. It does.
But, yeah, I mean, come on, lady. Relax.
I figured out. You gotta
let boys be boys sometimes, even though you want to punch yourself in the face when you got to clean up their piss on the floor all the time.
Yeah, that's odd.
All right.
But no, I don't think they have a very good chance to answer your question. Chances are high there's some mental damage.
They're fucked.
Do you actively promote your show? If not, why? If so, how?
I mean, we try, but we also both work full-time jobs. And I know Randall does a lot more Twittering.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only one I really do now is Twitter. It's kind of big, and that's just within the podcast community, really. It's a bunch of podcasters helping each other because everyone's so cool in the podcast community. It's fucking awesome. They've been great to us.
That's been pretty much our biggest. So, like, because we also have Instagram and our Facebook page. Those are pretty...
Instagram is dog shit for podcasts because it's so picture-based.
It's tough. I mean, but...
I mean, it's fine to have. I'm just saying of the three mediums for a podcast.
Yeah, you're just not a fan of Instagram anyways. But yeah, but it's all, you know, we've been getting a lot of love from the other podcast community. Obviously, all of our friends and the friends that we've made from Randall's ACDF. Is that right?
Yeah.
ACDF.
They've been great.
Yeah, they've been great. But
my YouTube celebrity are, of course, how we took over the Burt Show helped.
Well, yeah, that had nothing to do with your neck surgery. That was
I know, but we are a big deal.
Our tattoo bet. There was a 2-week period where it kind of felt like we were a big deal.
Oh, it was pretty crazy.
That was nuts. But yeah, I mean.
Got a lot of haterade during that time. It was awesome. That's my favorite part was the mean ass messages.
Yeah, so
God, it was the best.
When we made the news and we're on the Burt Show for the tattoo bet, it was there was a couple different news outlets that posted it on Twitter and Facebook, and it was like, I mean, by the end of the day, there was like 21,000 views on the video or something. It was crazy because I mean, it was like a major. No,
it was like 32,000.
Yeah, it was
on
like
the video
because it was like a major Atlanta news outlet that posted it on our Facebook. I mean, and it was just flooded. It was like 50-50 just, but some of the mean comments were hysterical. Like,
they're like, go kill yourself, you fucking rednecks.
Well, like, and
it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was the best was Randall answering like all of them.
That's the thing. I'm the wrong guy to try to troll because then I love it. I'm going to troll you harder than you trolled me and make you miserable. Like the church lady.
Oh, my God. That was hysterical. There was one lady. What did she say even?
It was meaner than fuck.
It was like, oh, fuck. And it's so old. I won't be able to find it on Facebook right now.
It was so mean that I looked at her Facebook and saw that she was like an assistant to the pastor at one of the big Atlanta churches.
Yeah. And she said something pretty hateful, but it was like, God, was she the one that was like, y'all are stupid and ugly? Like, it was something like just ridiculously, like,
it was brutal,
unnecessarily mean, but like funny. And you were like, thanks, Elizabeth. See you at church.
Yeah, see you at church on Sunday. And she couldn't, even she laughed and was like, touche. Yeah. I will never talk again.
Oh, but I mean, like, most people were like, why is this news? Fucking kill yourself. Like, it was.
I would divorce his ass. He's an abuser.
Oh, so many people were like screaming like that it was abuse and that I needed to divorce.
You were being forced.
Yeah. I'm like, hey guys, calm down. I agreed to this. Nobody was forcing me to do anything.
And she wants a tattoo any fucking way.
And it's, yeah, I mean, I have a million tattoos. What's another one?
And it's the coolest story ever. So.
And it's an awesome story. And yeah, I mean, if anybody asks, I mean, it's a good thing Alabama has a cute mascot because I got a cute little elephant with stupid fucking A balloon. But
Roll Tide.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good story. If anybody asks me about it, I can say I lost a bet to my husband legitimately. I mean, so.
That you almost won.
That I so goddamn close to winning.
I mean, double overtime.
Freshman fucking quarterback that Saban put in.
It could not be any closer. I was getting that tattoo
up until
for the whole game.
Yeah.
It was me getting a big Georgia G until the last fucking play.
Georgia was winning the entire game. Alabama has not trailed that long in a game in a decade.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And then they won the fucking game anyways, so who cares?
But yeah, it was a good time though. I loved that. It was a fun
Yeah,
couple
so
weeks.
I mean, yeah, we promote the show as best we can.
I mean, kind of, but the way I would answer is almost like not really. Like
I'm saying as best we can, which is a pretty piss poor job.
Really, what we want, is our friends to kind of spread it by mouth. If you like it, if you don't, then don't worry about it. But
yeah, I mean,
we want it to be kind of organic and cool.
Exactly. We would like for our audience to grow organically,
and it's doing that.
It is slowly but surely more and more. So, I mean, we're totally fine with that because, if we had 8 hours, 8, 10, 12 hours in a day to dedicate to it, I'm sure, but we don't have the money or the resources because we have to work.
No, we don't,
And it's not necessarily, I mean,
it would take the fun away, too. Like, I don't want it to become not
to
fun.
immediately jump in. Yeah, I mean, like, for sure. This is fun for us, but we...
So what we're saying is, if you're a fan of the show, you'd be promoting for us.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. Like,
we're asking you.
If you're asking us that question, then why don't you promote for us?
Yeah, come on, motherfucker.
We love you too.
Be cool, dog.
All right, what else you
Post
got?
it to your Facebook.
I'm tired, babe.
This is the last one. Tell us one thing that you both just agree to disagree on. I already thought this one through. It's simple. Because there's not many things that I think we both are just steadfast, like, you're this, I'm that, except for one thing I could think of.
Okay.
It's the only thing. People are going to think we're such dicks because this is so small.
Uh-huh.
But it's that mint chocolate chip ice cream is good. It's the only thing I could think of that we're both just agree to disagree on.
That's not like an issue. That's just like
I didn't just said something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, because mint chocolate chip is like my favorite ice cream.
And we don't budge on that. Right. I never eat it.
Well, yeah.
Mint chocolate chip, and you eat it all the time. So we just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Can you think of something else?
I feel like there's got to be something else, but you had more time to stew on this.
And I got nothing. So good luck. We usually budge somewhat and compromise on most
things. I know.
Things.
Well, I mean, agree to disagree on the fact that it's not necessary to watch fucking CNN 24/7,
but we agree to disagree on that because
I know.
I mean, but it's not all the time because you'll come in there eventually and just cut it the fuck off.
Right, because you do the same to me.
So we don't agree to disagree. Sometimes you overrule me and I just say, you know what? Yeah, I've been watching it for 2 hours.
That's true. That's true. I feel like there's got to be something else, but maybe, yeah, that's it. We're lame.
Or beef, because you don't eat beef or pork. So those would be it also.
Well, I haven't eaten beef or pork since I was 13.
I say steaks are delicious.
And I say...
You say they're disgusting.
I say, look at a cow's face and tell me that you want to butcher that sweet, precious baby.
And then I say to her, go to a chicken kill plant.
I know.
And she agrees.
I have.
They're all disgusting.
Yeah. I have an animal science degree. I had poultry science classes at UGA. It's fucking
Chickens are probably the most vile motherfucking dinosaurs to walk the earth.
Chickens are gross. Pigs
are dogs.
Horrifically gross. Yeah, but... The pig farm, when I went to the pig farm for class at UGA, the smell
I bet.
Was in my hair even after a shower. I smelled my hair and was like, I still smell it. I felt like I had to burn my clothes. Like,
no,
I can't
it gets
imagine.
in your skin. When people work at those...
I can't imagine.
I've been to plenty of those kill plants.
Yeah.
It gets into your damn DNA.
Yeah.
I guess you get used to it, but
God
it's
bless
fucking
you.
gross.
Yeah, I can't even. But, all right.
Yeah, how much time did we go tonight?
Enough.
Just tell me. I want to know the number.
It's an hour.
Cool. Well, then I love it. Cool. Well, you got anything else?
No. I'm tired. I want to go night-night.
All right, cool. All right, well, we will catch you fuck faces another time. And, remember, it can wait. Don't text and drive.
Nice.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
PSA. Fuck off.
Yep.